All right, so we are going to start here on Alvin's main webpage. You can see I'm at alvinisd.net. And first I wanted to show you, if you go to select school, there's a drop-down menu with all of our schools listed. And most of these, they should all have a library webpage. I'm just going to go to mine. And mine's not perfect. They're all always a work in progress so that we can keep them up to date to give you guys the best access to current information. But each of the websites have this blue banner, and there's library right there in the center. And we are currently working on mainstreaming our websites to make them look more similar. So your school might not have some of the things that my school have listed, but on the left-hand side here on this menu, these are the main things that we should have. And you can see that there's a tab for online resources here. So that's one way that you can access the resources that are available for students. However, I'm going to show you a different way to get there just in case you go to your school and that is not available. So I'm going to go back to alvinisd.net. And I'm actually going to go to the staff tab. I know you are not staff, but hang with me and I promise you will like where we go. All right, so once you're in staff, there's a link that says Technology Integration Help Center. Maybe you can type that into the chat, Anita. That's Technology Integration Help Center. And once we click that, it takes us to this really awesome resource that our instructional technologists have put together for us. And you can see over here on the left side where it says District Resources. If you click that, you can then break it down into elementary and secondary resources. So Anita and I are going to switch, and she's going to show you some of these resources that are great for students that will help support them with homework or research, or even if they're just curious kids and want to learn more.
So what I'm going to show you is the resources that the district provides. They get us these databases. When I teach my kids, I always tell them that when you're starting research or you want to learn something, Google is not your best friend, that the databases that we pay for are going to be your best help. And kids in general want to Google first. So I'm hoping that if all the parents now know about all of these great resources, you can help us get your kids to these resources that will give you great information. And you know they are accurate, and you know they are efficient, and they get the right information the first time. So I'm going to start with elementary. You can do this on the left-hand side too. BrainPop is really fun. Each building has its own login. You would need to contact your building librarian for information, but I'm also going to give you the Merrick login just in case you want to try that out. So if you go to BrainPop, you get to log in, and Merrick's is AlvinISD111, and the password is BrainPop901. I hope. So BrainPop is fun videos on most of the content that we are teaching to kids. So click on I'm a student. Oh, Virgo.
So the other thing too, I'm sorry to cut you off, Anita.
No, please.
If you go to, if you're in a Google window and your student is logged in, so you see their little account over here. In elementary world, we call this the waffle. And so if they click the waffle for their Google apps, they can scroll down. And as long as they're logged in, they have a direct link to BrainPop and BrainPop Junior here. So if they're logged into their Google account, they should be able to just click the Brain Pop button and be admitted. They have to choose
through Google
their login again. And once they choose their name, then it should take them right in without having to retype in that password.
Exactly. Really good thought. And then you can search anything you want. Moon phases. And it'll give you videos, and it'll give you games, and it'll give you all kinds of stuff to go along with that. So I'm going to take this
question.
Okay.
So we don't have access to the usernames and passwords for the individual campuses. Oftentimes, and you'll see as we're showing you some of these resources, oftentimes the password is Lone Star. That's just the general district password. And the username is often Alvin ISD. But you can always email either the district contact that's listed on this page, or even better, you can email your school's campus librarian, and they should be able to send you a document with those usernames and passwords on them.
Absolutely. Destiny is our...
We can look at that later.
Yeah, we're going to do that in a minute. Imagine Learning and Imagine Math and Imagine Math Facts, you're probably getting direct information on, and we'll talk about that later if we have time. Pebble Go is a K3 research resource that is a database, and each school has their own login. Ours is Merrick, and the password is school, SCHOOL. If you want to write that down and use it, you're welcome to. But again, you can contact your librarian. And this is written in very simplistic language, but it's organized. You can do by classification, or you can type in Spider or whatever you want. And it gives you these nice headings and these nice tabs, and it will read to them if you want them to have that access too. So for K3 research, this is a great place to go. Pebble Go also has a 3.5 resource called Pebble Go Next. And that is not purchased by the district, but some buildings have purchased that. One of the great parts of all of these resources that we're going to show you is the ability to cite your source. Lots of times kids are in Google and they're having trouble finding where the information came from and citing it properly. This will let you cite it, copy, print, do everything you want. And I'm going to show you how the other bigger kid opportunity or other resources work. But everyone has a citation that you can use so you can show your source. Other thoughts on that?
I think that's perfect.
I'm going to go back. We're going to talk about SOAR later. TextQuest is really amazing. This is where you want your kids to be going for information on the topics that they're trying to do research for. And it's coming up. You can see that we have resources in Spanish. We have resources for fundamentals, so your pre-K babies. Anybody that's needing some extra help with colors and numbers. Here is what Kelly was talking about. Here we can do the generic login. Alvin, I can do ABC order. And if you type in Lone Star here, you should be able to access all of the TextQuest resources. Okay, so remember, this is the fundamentals one. You're going to have, you can read books. You can explore. And there's a limited number of topics, but you can play games. And you can create. So this is really fun. I love this. I was playing with it last night. Britannica School is our encyclopedia source, and it's really the one we use all the time. Now, you guys may know of World Book and all of the other different encyclopedias. Those are offered by the public library, but Alvin ISD pays for Britannica School. So I'm going to kind of show you how this works. I went to elementary level, but I'm going to show you how you can change that. Sometimes kids will, I'm going to do a search up here. I'm going to go ahead and go moon phases again. have second graders that are learning about that. So we've been talking about that. So if I'm going to search for moon, it's going to give me articles and other articles that have that word in it. It's going to give me images. You can see tons of stuff. But basically, the first thing you're going to want is that very first link. And it will also read it aloud to them. And it breaks it down with headings. Oftentimes, these are headings that they're going to research. Maybe they want to know about orbits and spins and phases and physical features, and it'll break it down like that. And it will read aloud to them also. The other thing that you can do is change the levels. So when I went to level 2, I went to middle. Now, I let my kids do middle, even if they're elementary. It doesn't really correlate to middle school. It's just, as you can see, it's just got more text. It will also read it to them by clicking on listen. And it just has more text and more information. You can also go up here to the top and change your reading level to level 3. For elementary kids, we don't tend to go to 3 unless they need extra information, but we don't start here. But I tell my kids that even if I'm doing research on something, I might start at level 2 just to get a big understanding of something, and then I can change to the high school level. But if you have high school kids, then that might be where you want to start. And you can also search by back to the beginning. You can also search by topic and by looking at everything that they have for that. So they type in a question. You can look at general articles, or you can look at all the biographies they have. All the biographies by person F. Or you can search up here for your specific authors or specific persons. I have Gary Paulson. No. But they might have Gary Paulson in level 2. So you can move back and forth depending on what your need is. Any questions on encyclopedias?
I spaced out for a second because I got excited about another resource that I want to show you when it's my turn. But did you show them the features on the side? Open up the article. So one thing that I really like about this resource is the kids can go up to My Britannica and they can use their school login to log into it. And then with all these buttons up top, it's okay, Anita, you don't have to log in. These buttons up top allow them to print it, or like the star will save it as a favorite. So as long as they're logged in with their account, they would be able to go back and view their favorites list and find all the articles that they're using for their research project or their assignment. And when they're logged in, it also allows them to share it to their Google Drive. So lots of really great ways where they can save that information so they're not having to start from step 1 to find it all over again.
Citation also. Same thing, they can save that to their Google Drive also. Yeah, really good point. Anything else?
I don't think so. I think that was great. And I love this one. This is the one that I take my students to first when they're going to need to do research.
Me too. Okay. So I'm going to go back over here. That is, you see where we are. That was elementary Britannica School, but it would also work for high school. So this is another way that you can kind of drill down. So if you're not sure, I want to learn something about science. Oh, I'm not sure what I want to learn about. I want to learn about science in general. You can kind of drill down. So maybe I want to do animals. And this is less efficient to me. If you know that you're studying wolverines and you want information on wolverines, you're going to search that. But this is more for, I just want some fun information on animals. And let's see, I'd like maybe pets and farm animals. And it just lets you drill down. So this is a different way to search. but kind of fun if you're just working with your child and they're just trying to find things that they're interested in. This is another way to do that.
So we had a question of how to toggle between elementary and middle school resources.
Okay.
Did you mean the middle school and elementary resources? Do you mean within Britannica, or do you mean overall with the text quest options? Britannica.
Okay. So I want Gary Paulson, the author. Okay, right now I'm in level 1 and he's not here. So I'm going to try reading level 2, which is also middle. And here he is. I'm going to click on this so you can see the differences. And then he doesn't have a level 3. So it's going to be here or up here, depending on where you are.
What happens when you click on Britannica School Middle, Anita? Is Britannica School? When you log in for the very first time to this, it has a screen that gives you the 3 options of either doing elementary, middle. I can't remember if the third option is listed as high school or not, but once you log in, then the way you're toggling between them is by clicking the numbers.
Also, it started on elementary because I'm in elementary resources. If I would go back over here and ask to be in secondary resources, when I started in TextQuest, I'm going to start in TextQuest, maybe high school. And then when I start with Britannica, you see I'm going to get the Britannica School for high school. Got it. Okay. I'm going to go back to elementary school and show you National Geographic and teaching books, and then I'm going to stop.
Do we want to show them, what was that other one? Sorry.
Okay, I'm going to show you National Geographic really quick. This is also another way to sort. You can do a direct search if you want to know something specific and be effective. Or you can drill down kind of like we did before and see everything they had. So this is going to be moon phases. This, I didn't get a ton. So I'm just going to look for moon and see if I can get a little bit more. I get pictures. I get videos. I have magazines that have moon in them. And I have books. All the National Geographic books we have available here. There are 262 books with moon in them. You can also browse by pictures or magazines, or if you just want to read a National Geographic magazine, you can look here and you can check that by date. Or if you just want to do other books, you can all 262 books that have moon in them. And at the very beginning, when you go to home, you can search just in general by videos or by pictures or by books and just read for fun. And the last one I'm going to show you really quickly is because I'm in the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I wanted to show you teaching books. Teaching books is not so much helpful when you want to read an entire book, but it is really great for background on different kinds of books. You can search by title, author, or keyword. And I'm going to do Gary Paulson again just because I was playing with that last night. I'm not going to get Gary Paulson's entire books, but I am going to see the books that he has written. If you have little kids or big kids and they're trying to do author information, maybe they're doing research on an author or just want to know more about it, or what else have they done, you've got all kinds of information about them and their books. And then if you click on the book, it's going to give you resources about them. It's going to give you an audio excerpt. It's going to let you play a cover jigsaw puzzle, do a word search. And there's a ton of books on here. Almost anything that you're going to be interested in is going to show up in Teaching Books. And you've got about the authors and author interviews and all of that really kind of cool stuff.
We have a question that I don't know the answer to, and I'm
okay.
I wish you could see the look that Anita gave me. I'm not sure that she will either. So the question is, textbooks have web pages, for example, Go Math, and do we have access for that? So librarians are not in charge of textbooks, so I don't know the access information for that. Melissa or Anna, do either of you know who the contact for that would be? Or Anita, do you remember who the contact for that would be?
I'm guessing that would either be a middle school librarian or maybe the math specialist, but that's something that we can look into and find out.
And you should be able to email the classroom teacher, and they should be able to help you with that as well.
That's what I do for my big kid in high school. I just check with her classroom teacher that's assigning it, and they should be able to give you access.
Do you have any more questions about any of the research databases that we've shown you so far? I need to go into TextQuest one more time.
Sure.
We're going to show you one more thing that we know a tiny bit about, but since we live in elementary world, we don't know as much about.
Stuff. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. So we need to go.
No, there's a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah. We're going to open up the TextQuest. We're going to the left side on that Technology Integration Help Center, and we are choosing secondary, going back down to TextQuest, into junior high and high school.
Yeah.
And all of these are very similar to what Anita was showing you, but one that stands out as being different is this Learning Express library. I'm going to let Anita talk a little bit more about that.
Okay. So, yes, I totally forgot about this. So this is a really good place to go if you're doing test prep. There is information on all the different kinds of tests, job and career exploration, math and science things specifically for Texas, find test tutorials, ebooks, really useful. And at that same place, you also have different web quests for different content. As you get older, as the kids get more specific, they have more specific literature kinds of information that's needed, environmental studies, health and wellness. So that's going to give you some extra information there. And we were going to show them.
I think it was just Learning Express library.
Just Learning Express.
Yeah.
Play with that, though, if you have big kids, because that is really helpful. And also over here, if you just want to get, if your child has, you have to do research, you have to have 3 sources. One of them has to be a newspaper, or one of them has to be a primary source. You can search this way and get actual information that is specific to what they might need in Spanish and all that.
And if you ever run into any problems with that, always email your school librarian. They will be more than happy to answer your questions and help you out with it.
Absolutely.
All right.
Okay. Ready to switch?
All right. So we're actually going to stay in TextQuest for a second. Before I show you the next resource, I had a parent question about Epic. So getepic.com is not a resource that's offered by the district or by the schools, but it is a resource that many teachers use in their classrooms because it provides access to lots of really great quality ebooks. Get Epic is only free during school hours, and you can sign up. You can ask your teacher for I'm not sure if it's a code or if they could give you a letter, but you can sign up to get 2 additional hours for free after school hours, but that's 2 hours per week. And once you hit that limit, then it'll lock you out after school hours unless you have a paid subscription for that program.
And the paid subscriptions, I don't think, are hugely expensive.
But when I show you the other ebooks that we have available through the district, I really don't think, I love Epic Books. I'm a big proponent for it, but I don't know that it's necessarily, that it is necessary to have the additional subscription when we have all these other free resources provided through the district. So I'm going to go back. Let me close a few of these tabs.
Yeah. Welcome to my world. Sorry.
All right. 1 second, guys. This is the way our librarian brains work.
Yes.
You're getting a sneak peek. I could have gone from that.
Kelly, we had a question
Yes.
that says, can you show me again TextQuest access for the test, like the STAR test?
Yes, absolutely.
That's it.
Let me just go back to the original page. The more times we walk through it, and if my brain sees it over and over again, it helps me remember better. So let's go all the way back to here. Back to this Alvin ISD. Remember, we started here on the main Alvin ISD page. And this is where it's kind of sneaky because we're taking you to a link underneath staff. Underneath staff, we are clicking on Technology Integration Help Center. Now, most of the librarians are adding this link to their web pages that we started this session showing you. However, if they haven't added it to it yet, you'd have to go this way. Then over here in this menu on the black bar, underneath District Resources is where we can find elementary and secondary. So we went to secondary and then scrolled down to TextQuest. And hit, I think you can hit the junior high or the high school link. And it's right here, this Learning Express Library. You want to type Learning Express Library Test Prep in the chat. And so when we opened that up, that's where we have the STAR Prep and loading. There we go. So we have STAR for 3-8 and for high school students. And that's where that was. All right. So now I'm going to show you the ebook resources that we have. And you can find this EBSCO ebooks in any of the links for TextQuest. And I'm going to be real honest with you. It's a great resource. It's not my favorite resource. For our elementary kids, I prefer using the National Geographic books that Anita showed you, or Britannica even. I know it's not always a book there. It's an article, but I don't think that this one is as user-friendly, and it doesn't have as many fiction either. So you can see over here, you can simply browse by category if you want, and it has featured books as well. And then if you want to do a specific search up here, you can. So let's say your kiddo's learning about mixtures in science. You can type in mixtures.
Question is, can you change the grade level at that point in your junior?
Oh, in the ebooks in this one?
Uh-huh.
So I played with that earlier. Let's see over here. Let's go back. I imagine, let's look at an advanced search and see if it gives us the option for grade levels. You see a grade level? I see language, subject. I don't see that this one has that option.
Well, that's basic search.
Basic search is just typing it in the bar.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So let's go back to mixtures again. And I don't know that you can do that. And let's just open this first book. You can do the PDF full text or for full downloads. You can download it to the computer if you want, or you can just click the title. And you can add it to your Google Drive. You can print it. You can email it. You can cite it, just like we saw in those other sources. And you can, at least in the one I played with earlier today, I could look at it without downloading it. But this book's not going to play nicely.
It's just slow, sorry.
There we go. I just hit PDF and it didn't make me download it. And then I can just, let's make it a little smaller so we can see the whole page. Flip through the pages. But again, this isn't even showing me the
grade level.
Grade level. Mm-mm. So you can see you can scroll down to go through the pages, or you can click the arrows to move through them. All right, any more questions? I'm sorry that we didn't have a grade level answer for this one. But if you have any more questions on EBSCO host ebooks, you can type it in. All right, let's go back. And I'm going all the way back to the Technology Integration Help Center. And I think we've passed Sora. And so we still have access to Sora. And I think that maybe high school and middle school continue to add books to their collection. Elementary school hasn't been adding as many because the company has changed it to where we have a limited number of checkouts per book we purchase. So we would rather allocate our funds to a more permanent resource. But the books that we've already purchased will be in this database forever. So there's still some really great books for kids to have access to here. And let me see if I can get logged in. I'm on Miss Anita's computer, so it might not be nice to me.
And your kids will log in using their regular login for Google.
Oh, I think maybe it's not the whole email, though.
I agree.
If you ever try an email or a login with your child's email address and it doesn't work, my suggestion is to take off the @students.alvinisd.net. Some resources require the full email. Some just require their student ID number. So when you log in, this is the home screen. You can see that I have a book currently checked out. So you can click Explore, the little binoculars down here at the bottom. And it shows you what's available now. Now, because I logged into my librarian account, I see books from elementary, junior high, and high school level. So if you're seeing some titles and you're like, whoa, The Vanishing Half is not an elementary book. You're right, but this is because it's an adult account. But the kids would be similar with a new ebook edition banner, audiobooks. The audiobooks are great. If you're going to be traveling over the holidays, you can download audiobooks from Sora and listen to them in the car. It has a most popular section, book suggestions for you. And I wanted to show you, let's say we wanted Wonder here. All you have to do is click on it and hit borrow. And I'm not going to borrow it because I don't know if this is one that has numbered checkouts and I don't want to waste a checkout. So you would just click borrow and then it adds it to your shelf. So once you hit shelf, you can see I have Diary of a Wimpy Kid here. All they have to do is click it, open it, and then you're just going to click through the pages. Just like that. Now, there is an app for Sora that you can put on phones or tablets and iPads, and you can actually go to send to device, and you can send it to a Kindle if you have a Kindle, or you can download it to your app. See right here, it says online only. If I click that, it allows me to download the book so that I'm not having to stream while I'm reading it. So that's great for if you're going to be on the road and in the car as well. And you can do that for both print ebooks and audio ebooks. And then when they're done with the book, it automatically, you can see right here, it says due in 13 days. It's a 2-week loan period. If they're not finished, they can come back and renew it. But at the end of the 2-week loan period, it automatically gets returned. If they finish early and they want to return it so someone else can have access to it, then they just click that little arrow and they hit return. and it's removed from their shelf there. Can you think of anything I missed with Sora?
Do you want to show them audiobooks? You kind of know that works.
So I'm nervous to check things out just because I don't want to.
I wouldn't either, but I would just show them those
Okay,
symbols.
so when we go to explore, let's go back. It's still stuck on Wonder. We have this new audiobook editions here. So anytime you see the little headphone, that's the symbol, that's your clue that it's an audiobook versus an ebook. But what I like to do before we go on a road trip, I go up to the top and I go to preferences. And then I change my format to audiobook so that it only shows me audiobooks, and I hit apply. And now that's all I'm going to see when I do a search. And then when I'm ready to go back to looking at ebooks, I just go back to preferences and clear my selections right here. So I'll go to audiobook and change it back to any. Do we have a question over there?
Yeah, but I got it.
Okay. Anything else you think I need to show with Sora?
Any other questions on Sora?
And
It's wonderful.
It is
I
wonderful.
really love it.
And for some of you that have just voracious readers that are draining your bank account because they want to buy every book they can off Amazon, send them to Sora. Maybe even the EBSCO books that I showed you. Or I have one more ebook resource that I'm going to show you as well. So I'm going back to Technology Integration Help Center. And at the bottom, there's Tumble Books. And Tumble Books is going to be geared more towards elementary. But I'll show you too, if you have a high school student who's learning a second language, Tumble Books can come in handy for them as well. So our username on this one, and maybe you can type in the username and password in the chat box for Tumble Books. It's going to be the same for everyone. Alvin ISD is the username. Books is the password. The nice thing about Tumble Book, you don't have to check anything out. There's unlimited users for each of these titles. So unlike Sora, where you have it saved to a shelf, it's always here and it's always available. On the main screen here, you can just tab through the arrows and the different sections to find the book you want. When you find the one you want, you're just going to click on it. And it has all these different options to go along with the book. This one has a video. You can create a favorites list, a playlist. They have quizzes for the books. I've never clicked this book report button. Have you?
Nope.
So that's, maybe it walks you through doing a book report. I'm not totally sure. I'll have to play with that feature later. But lots of different things they can do with that. You can see the tabs here. If you want to just look for storybooks, you can click that one. And you guys can see there's read-alongs where it's going to read the book aloud and highlight the words as it's reading. You can take a look at that. So I'm just clicking the book cover to get it to open. And I hit play. And it highlights it. It should read it out loud. I think it might just be because I chose to present full screen instead of a tab.
Or we could have sound.
Yeah. All right. Up here, you could change the language. This is where it might come in handy for some junior high or high school students who are learning a second language. You can switch. And actually, guys, that's going to switch the whole website. That's not what I wanted to show you. Let's go back to English. Tumble search underneath here. If I click the magnifying glass with the plus sign, I can do a more advanced search for books that I'm looking for. It's loading. So you can see here, this is where I can choose the language for books that I'm looking for. So if I choose French and hit go, it's going to pull up every single book in this database that is available in French. Or this is another one.
filter by grade level.
Yes, they read my mind. That's what I was going to show them. So it's kind of sneaky. It's not exactly filtering by grade level. The district doesn't have access to Accelerated Reader anymore. However, Accelerated Reader, the way they level books is a grade level range. So what you could do here, this would be third grade, the 3.0 to 3.9. You can click that and hit go. And it's going to give you all books in that range. If you are just doing a random search and you're curious as to what level the book is that your child has found, underneath book details, you can see right here that it says AR 3.8, grades 1 through 4. 1 through 4 is a really wide range. That's just the audience that they are suggesting would enjoy the book. The actual reading level is a 3.8, which would be third grade year, 8 month. So the very end of third grade. All right, let's go back one more time, see if I missed anything on that Tumble search. I see that Tumble Books does list the grade level, but how do you, okay. So I think that answered that question, Shayla. Let me know if it did not. But you can see here, you can also type in a specific title. I don't always have a lot of luck with specific titles. I usually use this more if I'm just having a kid read just for fun. You can also search by subject. And I am not, Tumble time. So let's take a look at that. You can see that sometimes we just have to explore to see what some of these features do as well. But see over here, it has Tumble time. These are for the books that are a video recording of a book. And so it shows you how long those video recordings are. All right.
Sorry.
That is okay. You can also search by Lexile. Sometimes teachers might give you a Lexile level for your kiddo. Or if they give you, they say your kid's reading on a level 24, that can convert over. That gets kind of fuzzy. I would stick with this AR when it's a grade level range. And I think those were all the ebooks. Oh, I do have one other ebook to show you. But do you have any questions about Tumble Books or Sora? I'll give you a second to respond in case you have a question. All right. So I'm going to go all the way back to the Alvin page. And if you'll remember, the very first thing we showed you was how at the top you can go to select a school. And I'm going to go down to Brothers. And in the middle of the banner, there's Library. And every library webpage should have a link to the online catalog. So you can see right here, I have Destiny Discover. That's the official name of it. Or you could click right here where it says Destiny Online Library Catalog. And this is where your kids can search for books that are available in our library from home. And they can even log in as themselves here and create a favorite list for themselves. It's really easy to see which books are out. Like you can see the Canyon's Edge is currently out, but Dogman Fetch 22 is in. They can see popular titles, what other kids are reading. I've added some extra links up here for my kiddos. And so that would look different depending on the library website that you went to. But underneath popular titles are Lightbox Books. These are nonfiction ebooks that are interactive. They're really fun. So we can just click See All. And I'm going to click on Metamorphosis because Anita and I like butterflies so much. When you click on it and you hit View More Details, you can click Log In. So you have to be logged in to view it. And this is going to be their
6-digit number again.
6-digit student ID, and then their regular password that they use for Google Classroom.
These are also unlimited, so you can have 2 or 3 people in your household on the same book at a time.
So once you're logged in, you see that button switched to where it reads open. And we're going to click open Lightbox one more time. And it shows you all the pages here. These little white arrows on the side are how we can turn the pages through the book. Sorry about the load time. And if there's a video, which it won't let me play a video right now, but you'll see the flashing play button. And then there's all these features over here. Sometimes there is quizzes. There's maps where you can click on it and it shows you like where you can find things in the world. There's lots of really cool nonfiction features to learn more about the topics of these Lightbox books. And the kids seem to really like them. So you can see here, here's one of the maps.
It will read it aloud to them also.
Oh, that one wasn't a map. It tricked me.
Oh, almost.
Yes, when you hit the speaker, it should read it aloud.
It's not happy that we're trying to
It's
do
not.
other things at the same time.
All right, so that is Lightbox. Do you have anything else about Lightbox?
Usually the schools have print books to go with them. So if you would ever want to pair them up, the kids can come in and they can check them out also. And then they could actually, if you have the actual physical Lightbox, you can go in and put in a code and go to the website and get this same thing. So that's kind of fun too.
And I think that in each library's catalog, it's only going to show Lightbox that library has in hardback.
I feel like that's true too.
Yes. All right. And then the other thing that's going to be unique for each library. Oh, sorry guys. Didn't mean to go all the way out of Destiny. If you scroll down, you can see in Brothers right here, we have an ebooks banner. So these are all ebooks that are only available to my students because our campus has purchased these titles. So for Brothers, you'll see mainly Bluebonnet titles and 2x2 titles, but the students just click the cover and they'll log in the same way they did for Lightbox to check them out. Now, unlike Lightbox, there is only one copy of these books. So if it is already checked out, the button will say notify me instead of open, and it'll let them know. It'll send them an email when the book is available for them to check out. And that, again, that's going to be a campus to campus thing, and it's something you can email your campus librarian about.
But all I have to do is know they're logged in, so you can help them do that.
Yes, yes. That's all the ebook stuff. Any ebook questions? And each librarian's webpage is different.
I don't see a link to Discover on Glenn York's site.
Well, let's take a look at it.
Called York maybe called it a catalog. We'll look real quick.
Yeah, we'll pull it up.
Easy to say.
All right, let's go to their library. Oh, it's right here. Destiny catalog.
It
took me a second to find it too. Yep. But if you click on her Destiny catalog, it takes you to the one that looks similar to Brothers. It's just taking a while to load. Here it comes. So you can see how hers looked a little different from her library page. Looked a little bit different from mine. And we can go to Anita's.
And it looks completely different.
And
from
hers looks
everybody's.
hers looks a little different from mine. But the main things that we should have that are pretty standard in all of the pages is over here on the left-hand side. Those links.
Slow.
Yep. And again, it just takes some time to play through each of our websites. And all the librarians are super nice. And we're always happy to help any parents who email us. And actually, Anita, if you want to type both of our emails
Yes.
Into the messages, you can even email one of us if that's easier for you. Oh, I remember the other thing I wanted to show you guys. And this has nothing to do with Alvin. If you don't have a public library card, our public library system is amazing. And I just wanted to show you. I think I can show you this without logging in, but they also have tons of ebooks available once you have that library card, and they are very friendly and will help you with that too. I have 3 different apps on my phone that give me access to their ebooks. You can see eBranch right here. And this Access 360 has, I think it might have every single Bluebonnet available on Access 360.
Wow.
I don't know about the 2x2 books, but definitely the Bluebonnet books are available there. And the other thing that I really love, because when your kiddo is stuck and they don't know what to read next, and maybe it's during the summer or you're having a hard time getting in touch with a librarian, if you go to Reading Room and you hit Reader's Advisory, this Novelist Plus, I think when I click it, this is when it will ask me to log in. Yep. But Novelist Plus, you would use your library card, the barcode, and your password here. And you can type in the book that your kid's reading that they love. And then it gives you like 10 recommendations for books that read similarly. So that's a really excellent resource to use when trying to find something for your kids to read next. All right. It looks like we have 4 minutes
for questions. Anybody want to unmute and ask anything?